Okay, so we are Hugo and Nathan, and we are here to present to you on the topic of nobility in the Middle Ages. Okay, so Nathan, to what extent do you think modern people are concerned about their prestige?
I think that people nowadays care a lot about their prestige. Using an everyday example, most high schoolers care about their reputation at school more than anything else. They do everything and anything they can to try to gain a better reputation.
So, do you think that there are people today who enjoy fighting? Give some examples.
I don't think many people enjoy fighting that much because there's a high risk of dying due to the advanced technology. Some people might feel obligated to join the army and protect their country even though they don't really want to.
And do you think the modern soldier has the same qualities as the medieval nobility? Explain your answer.
I don't think soldiers these days have the same qualities because they can rely a lot more on technology. Back then, knights had to be really brave because they went into fights with just swords and shields.
Wait, so questions. If dinner was being served, who would be served first? A marquis or a duke?
Dukes were served first because they were ranked just above a marquis.
And who would serve first? A viscount or a baron?
Viscounts were served first because they were ranked just above a baron.
And who would serve first? A countess or a viscountess?
Countesses were served first because they were ranked above viscountesses.
What rank became outdated when authority went to the sheriff?
The viscount ranking became outdated when authority went to the sheriff.
What noble title was the most likely to come because of military service?
The rank of baron was most likely to become because of military service.
In defense of your castle, what were some weapons that you might have used?
You would have used boiling water, rocks, and arrows to defend your castle.
If you were attacking a castle, what weapons might you have used?
You would have used catapults, battering rams, and ladders to attack a castle.
What was the purpose of trial by ordeal?
The trial of ordeal involved the accused picking up a red-hot iron. If the accused's hands healed in the required time, it was proof that he was innocent.
In trial by combat, how were disputes settled?
Two parties fought each other and the winner wins the argument.
What excuses for their lifestyle did the nobility eventually use?
Excuses that the nobility used included being in defense of the church in the code of chivalry and in the Crusades. Here's some additional information.
At age 7, kids began training to become a knight.
Children learned special skills to help manage the kingdom once they grew up.
At meals, nobles often threw food scraps onto the ground for the dogs to eat. This means that the dogs of nobles often had better food than the peasants.
In medieval times, children officially became adults at the age of 10.
Most children were married for political matters, and often before they became teens.
The noble families had their own castles, which were basically heavily fortified houses. Castles offered great protection. Their large stone walls provided a great place to hide behind.
Feasts occurred when the noble families celebrated events of great importance. At feasts, there would be lots of food, and well, people feasted on it. At times, there were feasts for the peasants too, but this was rather rare.
Castles were often attacked during the Middle Ages. In them was great wealth, and the bodies of rich nobles whom they could hold hostage for even more wealth. At other times, castles were just invaded because of disputes, and one side just wanted to win the dispute, so they settled it with violence.
Knights were higher ranked soldiers who served the nobles and royalty. If a knight did his job well, they had a chance to become a noble himself. If he did a bad job, however, then he would have just died in a battle. Okay. So Nathan, what are your final thoughts on nobility?
I found it disturbing that the nobles would throw away perfectly good food for the dogs. I don't think it is good for the dogs to eat better food than the peasants. I also found it disturbing that they would find it if someone was innocent by burning their hand and seeing if it healed. All of this doesn't make any much sense by today's standards, and I feel that back then people were quite strange.
Because you don't have a paper.
And this is our bibliography.